If I stick to what the Quran says to me and what the message is, it's very clear to me that I have total equality. Just do as it says, and nobody can argue with me. Looking at the Quran, it's the perfect way of life for me if I keep on the clear message it's giving me. And it's very simple. To love people, to care for people.
See you? Oh, do come in.
Thank you. Before converting to Islam a year ago, Jan was a Christian. She separated from her husband and has 2 sons who've now left home.
Some friends have said, but you were a good Christian, so why have you sold out, almost, is what they would imply. And I think my answer to that is, well, I didn't know about the Prophet. And indeed in the Bible, Jesus actually does say somebody will come after me. So I think for me, it hasn't been at all a sellout of my faith. It's been an enriching of my faith.
Nearly broke my fast then. Did you notice?
No.
But I didn't.
What did you do?
Well, I've got some garlic on my thing, and I was just about to lick it up. But I didn't.
There is a lot of rule following, isn't there?
Yes.
Do you like that?
I have no problem at all praying, because it brings you in God's presence 5 times a day. What hampers me is fearing I'm going to put a foot wrong with the culture. You know, like if I can't pronounce this properly, if I'm not wearing the right clothes, if I'm not behaving appropriately. As all my friends say, it doesn't mean you have to get all sort of scarved up and walk about, you know, like with a bed sheet on you, who's going to see you just with your eyes. And I said, no, it isn't like that, you know, because that's cultural, isn't it, to separate the cultural from what the faith is saying. The faith is saying to dress modestly and to cover yourself appropriately and to not dress in a way that is provocative. Cultures interpret that differently, don't they, as we've seen in Afghanistan and various places like that.
But you do things like shake men's hand and be in a room with a man and all of that intimacy?
Yes. I can't see myself making that shift very easily because I'm an English woman. I see men and women. Men and women come to my house. I see men and women at work.
If it is in the Quran that you shouldn't be in the same room as a man on your own who's not family, then...
I feel the way that I deal with that for myself is what your intention is. I just find it really difficult. I really do, and I think that, and I'm still struggling with many aspects of that, and I can't deny it, really. There are issues about the whole thing that you're meant to question, but you can't just go around sort of thinking, well, this is what I think, you know, and it's not fair for women. I think, you know, like looking at what I was like in the 70s to how I am now. My mum and my sister and I went to Greenham Common. I had orange hair that was like 1/4 of an inch all over. I used to wear dungarees. I never burnt my bra. I never did anything like that. I didn't go to that. I thought, what's all this about? But I was a right-on feminist in those days, really. And it was essential. I mean, it wasn't until, what, the 60s that we could own our own property in England. We could have a bank account without a husband having to sign the cheque. Islamic women have always had those rights. If I stick to what the Quran says to me and what the message is, it's very clear to me that I have total equality. Just do as it says, and nobody can argue with me on that.
It's the end of Ramadan and Jan calls. She's made a major decision. Despite her more liberal interpretation of the rules of Islam, she's decided to wear the hijab. It's Monday morning and she's got to go to work. How are you feeling about it?
Well, I was just upstairs in the bathroom and yeah, I feel quite emotional, really.
Why are you going to start wearing the scarf?
To wear a scarf, for me, as an English woman in Islam, is a real statement. And I really feel I want to do it, and it just feels the right time to do it. I think what makes me feel a little upset is, I think, I'm moving on, isn't it, really? Because people have known, some of them, my friends at work, know that I've been looking at this faith. But to actually go today with a scarf feels quite a journey, really, I suppose. I'll be all right in a minute. I will compose myself.
Have you thought hard about what scarf you're going to wear?
Yes, I did. I did. I've seen a lot of people wearing scarves in different ways, and I think I quite like this way, and it seems acceptable and doesn't feel too covering for starters, for beginners. What I'll be like in 5 years or whatever. Also, I put a top on too because it protects space to pray lightly.
So you wouldn't go out in that t-shirt then?
No.
Did you used to?
Yes. It's amazing how you sort of change, isn't it?